Let us stand for the entrance of the teachers and the graduates. Let us remain standing for our opening prayer by Mrs. Haksha.
Good morning, let us pray. Our Father in heaven, we're so thankful for this day. We're thankful for everything that you are and all that you do. You're such a merciful and loving God. We thank you for this opportunity to be here today to celebrate with these students who are graduating today, the class of 2022. We pray that everything will be done for your honor and glory. We pray your blessings on the proceedings, and we pray that everything will be done according to your will. We thank you for everything. We ask you to continue to guide us throughout this day. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Right, let's stand at attention for the national anthem. Right, 2, 3. Saint Vincent, land so beautiful, with joyful hearts we pledge to thee our loyalty and love and vow to keep you ever free. Whatever the future brings, our faith will see us through. May peace reign from shore to shore, and God bless and keep us true. High rune of fair and blessed are your mountains, high so clear and green, are home to me, though I may stray, our heaven comes serene. Whatever the future brings, our faith will see us through. May peace reign from shore to shore, and God bless and keep us true. All little sister islands are those gems, the lovely grenadines upon their seas, and golden sand, the sunshine ever beams. Whatever the future brings, our faith will see us through. May peace reign from shore to shore, and God bless and keep us true. Right, we're going to sing the school song. Students, this will be the last time you're singing the school song, so take pride in it. 2, 3. A caring, supportive, learning environment for academic and moral development. This is the legacy, this is the mark of the George Stevens Senior Secondary School. Here we come to learn, to achieve our highest goal. Our best is that for which we yearn at the George Stevens Senior Secondary School. Through challenges to great things, we build characters free, discipline and loyalty, teamwork and tolerance. These are the marks of the George Stevens Senior Secondary School. Here we come to learn, to achieve our highest goal. At the George Stevens Senior. All right, you may be seated. I would like to invite one of the graduates, Miss Alexia Hooper, to do the scripture reading for us. You could read me. Yes, darling. Yes, honey. Yes, darling. About 3, 5, and 6. Good morning, everyone.
The scripture reading is taken from Proverbs 3, verse 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. Thank you.
Alright, before we go to the next item, I would like to invite the ministry official, Ms. Rosman Griffith, to the stage. Alright, let's all stand as we sing our opening hymn, To God be the glory, great things he has done. To God be the glory, great things he has done. So loved he the world that he gave us his Son, who yielded his life an atonement for sin, and opened the life gate that all may go in. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord, let the earth hear his voice. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord, let the people rejoice. Oh, come to the Father, to Jesus the Son. Somebody find him. And give him the glory, great things he has done. Has taught us great things he has done, and greater rejoicing through Jesus the Son, but purer and higher and greater will be a transport when Jesus we see. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord, let the earth hear his voice. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord, let the people rejoice. Oh, come to the Father, to Jesus the Son, and give him the glory, great things he has done. O perfect redemption, O perfect redemption, the purchase of blood, to every believer, the promise of God, vilest offender who truly believes, that moment from Jesus a pardon received. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord, let the earth hear his voice. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord, let the people rejoice. Oh, come to the Father, to Jesus the Son, and give him the glory, great things he has done. Right, thank you, and please be seated. Hi, good morning to everyone. And we at the George Stevens Senior Secondary School would like to welcome you to our 13th graduation ceremony and the prize giving exercise. It's a joy to be here this morning, and we are especially proud of our students because the last 2 years or so was a very trying one because they were out of school for quite a while with the volcanic eruption as well as COVID. But nevertheless, they were able to get to this point, do their exams, finish their SBAs, had some long nights, had some long days, had some fights with teachers, got frustrated, but yet you are here today at this point. And as you are here, it is an opportunity for you to thank God. It's an opportunity for you to thank your teachers. And as we go throughout this day, I hope that you would reflect on the past 5 years that you were in school, and that you would remember, and Tiffany, that you would have a good graduation day today. I don't plan for us to be in here for too long because I notice everybody's standing and everybody's sweating, so we'll try to go through the program as quickly as possible. So to get things rolling off this morning, we're going to start with the principal's remarks by our acting principal, Mr. Calvin Providence.
This is the protocol. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Master of Ceremonies, Ms. Bacchus, Representative of the Ministry of Education, Ms. Rosamond Griffith, other officers of the Ministry of Education, Pastor of the Ebenezer Seventh-day Adventist Church, Pastor Ambrose, Elder of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Elder Balcom, other members of the clergy, specially invited guests, members of staff, parents and guardians, graduates and prize winners, members of the media. A pleasant good morning. What a time to be a secondary school student. The COVID-19 pandemic and the April 9th eruption of the Las Vegas volcano had made teaching and learning service exercise, as we knew, a thing of old. Connectivity, netiquette, Zoom link, protocols, and virtual are all buzzwords with which we have all become quite familiar. Our students spend a significant amount of time of their time in online classes and dealing with eruption previously mentioned while in fourth form, making preparations for the CSEC exams, which could ultimately determine the course of their lives, because their lives will take. In regular circumstances, it requires a great deal of focus, little distraction, a lot of preparation and practice, along with a significant amount of prayers to be successful at CSEC. This cohort of students who graduate today have had very little time to prepare in the customary way and encountered numerous distractions which undoubtedly affected their focus. In spite of all these challenges, they were still expected to strive and to do well. The staff of the school worked assiduously to meet the students' needs as best as they could under given circumstances. At the beginning of the academic year in October, we welcomed Mr. Dorinson Douglas to the Natural Science Department, Ms. Danica Charles Bob and Ms. Olita Bob to the Social Science Department, and Ms. Narika Cupid also joined the staff as part of the English and Modern Language Department. They made wonderful additions to our team, and our collective efforts were made better by their presence and commitment. We learned of the school's performance at the May-June 2021 CSEC sitting in September. We recorded a 56.37 pass rate, a decrease of 8.77 when compared to 2020. Only one of the 18 subjects offered by the school received 100% passes. Eight other errors recorded averages in excess of 60%. Our top performer was Kira Horn, who achieved 7 passes out of 8 subjects that she sat, which included passes in mathematics and English. Kudos to the class of 2021. Students returned to school online initially, then shifted to a blended approach with some online classes and some face-to-face. With this came its challenges as we struggled to get everyone to class while we contended with issues such as internet connectivity and attendance to classes by some students. November brought with it new challenges as the former principal went on leave, and we also had to contend with the vaccine mandate with some replacement of 4 colleagues who had decided not to take the vaccine by the specified deadline of November the 19th, 2021. The first term definitely ended on a sad note as we saw the departure of several of our colleagues, leaving many to wonder about the preparation of our students for CSEC examinations in some subject areas. There was an entry of new colleagues as the government sought to make sure that the nation's children did not suffer during these difficult times. Joining the staff at the end of the term were Mr. Azidon Durant, Ms. Kiana Samuel, Ms. Chevroletti, and Ms. Denise Brown. The days which concluded term 1 was spent in preparation for the January start of term 2. The second term is usually bustling with sporting activities. However, this year, we made a decision not to have the usual sports day and activities leading up to sports day. The second term also saw the departure of Ms. Selma Warren Freitas, the school's guidance counselor, as she was transferred to the Lawrence Primary School as the head teacher. The departure of the guidance counselor left a gaping hole in terms of meeting the psychosocial needs of our students. A new teacher, Ms. Adina Jack, joined the staff in January, and Ms. Ariane Kane returned from extended leave, which helped to boost the staff in the field of mathematics. The COVID-19 pandemic continued to impact us during this term, as we saw teachers and students affected by the disease, leading to instances where entire classes were asked to stay at home and some teachers had to take sick leave. However, we at the George Stevens Senior Secondary School never closed our doors and fought through the challenges that presented themselves, and I'm able to report that in spite of the rising numbers, we as a school continue to respond to the needs of our students. To the back end of the term 2, we welcome a new guidance counselor in the person of Ms. Fanny Ballantyne Clark, who has been a blessing to our institution. We also saw the departure of Ms. Christina Mackenzie and Ms. Lanik Samuel, yes, in terms. During this term, one of our teachers, Ms. Tahila Sampson, with the support of other staff members, established an all-girls group. This group seeks to provide a forum that empowers, motivates, and inspires transformation and growth of girls. Through interactive activities, spiritual guidance, and uplifting discussions, the girls are propelled to holistic self-improvement for their betterment and those around them. Term 2 ended with exams, making it the first time we have had exams in the second term of any school year. During the current term, which is the third term, fifth formers made their final preparations for the external examinations, and the remaining students continue to work in preparation for the end of term exams. This was not without its share of challenges. However, at the George Stevens Senior Secondary School, challenges are part of who we are, as our motto rightly says, through challenges to great things. The term saw the addition of 6 members of staff on the SEC and ES programs. Ms. Chelly Thompson, Ms. Maya George, and Ms. Kelly Byron joined staff as SEC interns, while Mr. Floyd Noel, Ms. Ariana Silva, and Ms. Zoana Rogers joined on the ES program. During this term, time was spent completing SBAs, practicing past papers, and getting students ready for their CSEC exams, which had been pushed back for a further 3 weeks. Through it all, we had glimmers of hope as we saw the establishment of a school choir, spearheaded by a new guidance counselor. And the spiritual well-being of our students is of utmost importance, so the choir is seen as an avenue to assist in this regard. The school guidance council, along with other junior members of staff, established a peer council group also. Graduates, unlike many before you, you have overcome what many may consider extremely difficult circumstances. The measure of your success will not only be how many subjects you achieve at CSEC, but the lessons, the values, attributes, and skills which this experience has taught you. Far too often, we only examine the end results. Perhaps we have yet to learn from our misfortunes. Maybe it's time for us to consider that some of someone's success is more about what they were and how far they have come than just what we see in front of us now. Surely, if we only consider the end product, we will not appreciate the journey nor the value-defining moments that brought us here. Class of 2020, to say that you have done well, given the circumstances you have encountered, it is a gross understatement. You have been a resilient bunch. As you move forward, remember the words of Malcolm X. Education is our passport to the future. Tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today. In spite of all the challenges which have befallen you, perhaps those yet to come, we forge ahead with the promise that one day things must get better. As a community, let us continue to examine our circumstances, reflect on our options, and with God on our side, move ahead with courage. Congratulations, we are proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Providence. All right, this time we're going to welcome Miss Rosamond Griffith, a past teacher of the George Stevens Senior Secondary School, to give us some remarks from the Ministry of Education.
Master of Ceremonies, Ms. Duckus, other officials of the Ministry of Education, Deputy Principal of the George Stevens Senior Secondary School, Mr. Calvin Providence, Pastor of the Ebenezer Seventh-day Adventist Church, Pastor Ambrose, Elder of the Ebenezer Seventh-day Adventist Church, Elder Balcom, other members of the clergy, special invited guests, members of staff, parents and guardians, graduates and prize winners, members of the media, good morning. I bring you greetings from the Ministry of Education, especially our Minister of Education, Mr. Curtis King, who would have loved to be here, but unfortunately is engaged otherwise. Permit me to speak briefly to the graduating class of 2022. You would have completed school despite a global pandemic, the recent volcanic eruption, and dengue fever. No doubt your life would have been disrupted. No doubt there was added stress. No doubt there was uncertainty. Despite these challenges, or more accurately, because of them, you are stronger. You are a stronger student having tested yourself. You are a stronger applicant for a job or for the college as you have overcome the unexpected and persevered. You are a stronger person finding the ingenuity and resolution you did not know you had. Congratulations as you cherish the fruits of your hard work. We from the Ministry of Education wish that success keep following you in everything that you do. Dream new dreams. Embark on whom you are. Embrace life with passion and keep reaching for the stars. Shine on and go for it. There are far, far better things ahead than any that you left behind. Your life is your story, and the adventure ahead of you is the journey to fulfill your own purpose and potential. What lies behind you and what lies before you are small matters compared to what lies within you. There are no regrets in life. The transition you have made, your resiliency, the effort you have put to be at this stage of your game to ensure that you're sitting here this morning to be a part of the graduating class. Use it and go to change the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Griffith, for your encouraging words. And students, as you go forth, I hope that you will take something from what she said. All right, at this time we've been sitting and we've been doing graduation things and protocols and encouragement. So we're going to take a break at this moment as we have a special item by Miss De Silva and company.
Good morning, church. I will now be reading the introduction for a guest speaker. Can everyone hear me? Let's do that again. Good morning, church. Good morning. I will now be reading the introduction of the guest speaker. Wendell Gary E. Walters, a young man from Sandy Bay, was presented to the Board of Formal Education and Chain of Studies at the Georgetown Primary Government School. He then moved on to the Georgetown Secondary School between the years of 1991 to 1996. He then attended the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College in 1997 to 1999 at the Division of Arts, Sciences and General Studies, where he had a keen interest in the social science of sociology. He is the second child for his parents, who have 5 children together. After graduating from college during the year 1999, Wendell did some work as a freelancing journalist with the Searchlight newspaper. In 2001, he worked briefly with the administration of Lee FM as a news reporter. And in that same year, he became a primary school teacher for 1 year. While teaching at the Sandy Bay Primary School in 2003, he left for another calling to go abroad. He then traveled on a scholarship to Mexico to a place called Toluca, Estado de Mexico, where he was supposed to study tourism, but ended up studying the social science of humans called social anthropology. During those years, Mr. Walters worked after classes as an English professor at the Language Center, Toluca, Mexico. In the mornings before his studies and at the Anglo-American Institute in the evenings after his classes. It was tedious, monotonous work, but this helped with his training as a teacher and as an ambassador for SPG in Mexico. His bachelor's in social anthropology makes him one anthropologist in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In the year of 2009, Mr. Walters returned to St. Vincent, and while working with the community and churches of Christ in Oria and Sandy Bay up to present time, Mr. Walters has done some work with the Ministry of Social Development, an American small business company called Amway, where he developed interest in small business, the World Bank project of developing the coast of the island, led a main project of generation genealogy called the National Genographic Project in St. Vincent with Mr. Ben Torres of National Geographic's company, and also served as a medium between cultural groups of St. Vincent and Nicaragua and Honduras on several occasions at the Peace Memorial Hall. On several occasions of the year, he works along with a medical college in St. Vincent as a cultural and English medium between foreigners and Vincentians. He is presently a lecturer in communication studies and sociology at the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College, the Division of Arts, Sciences, and General Studies. Let's welcome Mr. Wendell Walters.
Thank you very much. I didn't realize that those were so many words. Thank you so much. And for this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Principal, Mr. Providence, staff of the George Stevens Secondary School, representative of the Ministry of Education, Rosamond Griffith, especially invited guests, parents, friends, neighbors, and the ones we are celebrating with. graduates of year 2022. Good morning. This is victory for you, graduates of 2022. Your theme is inspirational with impeccable timing. It's a theme that is coming back to the future, into the new dimensions of today. It says, tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. The great Malcolm X. The word prepare, according to the Merriam Dictionary, means to make ready beforehand for some purpose, use, or activity. To make ready. Life for you in the future depends on how you prepare for it today. I'm standing exactly on soil that raised a prime minister. I feel good standing here. I'm standing on a soil that raised some of the country's finest teachers, doctors, lawyers, cricketers, and most of all, loving, successful Vincentians that serve every day, all year long, duties to their country. I must say, apart from congratulations to the graduates, thank you, teachers, for your service. I am proud of you, the parents of this wonderful bunch of students, as it seems you are prepared. Graduates of 2022, you made it. Give them a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. In my line of study and work, I have had the opportunity of meeting many different kinds of people. And sometimes I've observed everywhere I went that people are people, anywhere you go. People like to know that you're successful, and that is a good thing. There's a singer that says, memories don't live like people do, so I'll always remember you. It was Michael Jordan who said, it's every man's wish to be remembered, and to be remembered in the best way possible. As we can see, the world is changing, evolving, I would say. But news will always be news. It won't stop. At the end of it all, everyone wants to be remembered. Not for the bad, but for all the good in us. All the wonders we brought to the world. We are inspired and we inspire others with contributions we make to everyone in our path. God has been good to us, and He reminds us also, do this in remembrance of me. Every time you meet, remember words of Jesus. You see, Christ already paved the way for us to follow. Be bold, graduates. Be kind. Be sincere. Be yourself. And always hope for the best from yourself, and in every way, bring out the best in people. We are ready to conquer the world. If we are going to be remembered, let us be remembered in the best way possible. Graduates, you and your loved ones are here today, and I see some nice smiles. We are all here to cheer you on. When preparing in life, if you need help, don't hesitate to ask. There are different types of helps though. There's one help to show you where a bread is. 2, help that gives you a bread every day. And 3, help to show you how to make or how to prepare a bread to eat. I would say here, no, the ones that teach you how to make the bread, that's the better option to take. I've been able to accomplish a few things in my own life that saves me a lot of time. As a second child of 5 children of my parents, I was caught in the middle, the big brother of all. We had to learn to do everything, me and my siblings. Thanks to my dad and mom, they woke us up early, showed us how to prepare for the roads ahead. With a strict hand, they made sure we grew up as nice as a rose, but as busy as an ant. I too was told at a young age, make up your bed how you want to lie on it. I heard a Navy SEAL tell some people, start your day making your bed. So it seems that's true. Because he was saying, if the day doesn't go right, you'd return home to a nice, well-made bed to rest on. Tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. So I'm at a restaurant in Copenhagen, Europe, and a little boy dressed as a waiter hands me the menu with a smile on his face. I asked my host, what is this? He is the waiter, was the reply. I was shocked to see a 12-year-old during school days after class working and doing a good job at it. He was preparing himself and his savings account for the future. My boy was hustling at that age, hustling to get his own money for later on, to pay his education and to travel and see the world. You see, when your parents wake you up in the morning at 5 a.m. to go to Wet Tomatoes or to change that pig or that one goat before going to class, all that is preparation too. My dad, a teacher, had a huge field of tomatoes, and coming from the countryside, you'd be surprised the amount of farming chores little children have to do before they leave their home to go to class. Young people, I understand you. At one point, I thought my parents and all the positive people around me didn't like me. Everything I must do this, do that, mix the concrete, come nail up this, go help the man fix the tire, all kind of nonsense they had me doing when I was in secondary school. Little did I know that my parents were like Kung Fu masters. They were preparing us for the world to come. Now, there are a few things that I am prepared for. That saves me a lot of time and money. If someone didn't take time and show me how to do some things, then the life lessons in life I'll be paying for every single time. So I have to say thank you to all the teachers of my time, those in school and those outside of school, because we learn outside as well. We have teachers in the streets as well. And some of them, the positive that they gave us, we have to thank them as well for passing on that knowledge. Graduates of 2022, learn everything you can in life. I was watching a young man fix a vehicle. He was around your age, graduates. And I said, well, look at that. The confidence he had, he knew exactly which tool to take up, which part to adjust, take out and fix and replace back in the vehicle. Now he learned that from his uncle. His uncle learned that from his dad. His dad learned that from his grandfather. His grandfather learned that from a friend. And the domino effect goes on and on and on. What am I saying? Prepare also means to be open to learning. Learn new and positive things, as they may someday come in very useful. In sociology, we say absorb. Absorb, taking all you can from everyone, especially the adults around you, who have something positive to teach you. Let us be willing to listen. Let us be willing to be humble and take time out and pay attention to whatever it is they are passing on to you. There is a reason we have two sides of brains, two eyes, two ears, two nostrils, and how many mouths? Just one. There's a reason for that. Youngsters, sometimes we don't see the relevance of people around, especially if we don't know them. That doesn't mean they don't contribute in one way or another to your lives. Always remember that. For instance, when La Soufrière erupted, those who were prepared for anything to come were the ones that helped us get back on our feet again. Some of them were our friends, our churches, the government, and some of them were total strangers. I met many people that lent a helping hand during that time. And then helping me empowered me and my wife, and we were able to help many other people. And those are the people who are able to help other people as well. And the domino effect goes on and on. Because of that one prepared person, we were able to eat. Because of one prepared person, we were able to help somebody else in time of need. As a kid, in my pajamas, I could remember being told this story. And this story I held in the back of my head every single time I remember I have a task to do. Do you remember the story of the ant and the grasshopper? It's a simple story. Grasshopper, all he wanted to do was just have fun. Hop around every day. P-A-R-T. Why? He just had to party. The ant, his friend, was constantly working and working, keeping himself occupied and preparing for the winter that's ahead. You know the end of that story. Grasshopper played until winter time came. Then he ended up having to go and ask who for help? The one that was prepared, ant. In some stories, ant is a good friend, and he takes him in and gives him food too. In other stories, I was telling this story to a foreigner, and they said, no, in our culture, the ant doesn't help the grasshopper. He leaves him to go away and die. Whole story. So, in all this preparation, when I went to study in Mexico, a culture I'd never seen or experienced, I had to learn some new things. Youngsters, be prepared to learn and to be open to different cultures, different people. We have to learn to agree sometimes, agree to disagree with certain things. We have to remember words like uniting. Simple things like saying, I'm sorry, thank you, can I help you? Or can you give me some help? Simple things like that make for a brighter tomorrow. It's then on one of my journeys that I realized that your theme, George Stevens, thank you for that theme that you provided. I realized that some of it, I lived some of this. Tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. Without preparation, without the preparation I got from home in St. Vincent, from everybody around, I would not have survived. Yes, from my parents, but from my teachers too. The training, the discipline, the things I picked up at church, the times I listened to what the neighbors had to say, the things that worry other people, and how they solve problems of conflicts, the critics that laughed, and the people who say things that made me bawl like a child again, and hide, thinking I'm too country. Coming from Sandy Bay, in those days, you were constantly told that you live behind God's back, and that I wouldn't become anybody. I can't make it at all, because I am a young black male in this world, and young black males are not supposed to make it in life. They're supposed to fail every time. I grew up with that kind of mentality. Thank God that, brothers, you are here today, and you can attest to it, that we are survivors. We are a strong people, we are a smart people, and we have to keep it that way. If it wasn't for critics at times, I wouldn't have been here. Because guess what? What doesn't kill you? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I didn't die. It hurt. Criticisms hurt. Bad things said about you hurt. But that doesn't mean you should stop. That doesn't mean you should stop preparing for your journey to come. Keep things positive. You just need to be a little more prepared for the things in life. It's like an open sea. And you, my young friends and scholars, are sailing in this thing called life. Sometimes it's calm, sometimes it's nice, and sometimes it gets rough. It doesn't matter, stay on your course. Don't forget where you are headed. Just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. Occupy your mind with positive things, and positive would be the outcome. But preparing also means The heights that great men reached and kept were not entertained by sudden flights, but while their companions slept, they were upward toiling and toiling through the night. If only your celebrities could tell you how long they have to spend to prepare one song. How long they have to spend and repeat and repeat and repeat to make one of those videos. Your idols have to be prepared mentally and physically to look the way they look, talk the way they talk, sing the way they do, and shine the way they do. And then, after that, comes the glory. I heard one of them said, whoever said progress was a slow process wasn't talking about me. Another said, people want to see the glory, but they just don't know the story. Tomorrow belongs to you, graduates, so live a good story to tell tomorrow. Preparing also means you stay up at night studying or working way past 12 a.m. in the morning while others are asleep. It means less time to play, less time to socialize, and even to go swim or sit for too long. It means you have to know when to skylark. Remember that word? Skylark. Right? And it means you have to know when to be serious and get to work. I remember hearing Buju Banton when he was just released. When he got back to Jamaica, one of the interviewers asked Buju, so now you gotta relax and rest. Buju said, relax and rest? I was sitting for 10 years in that place. No, it's not time for sitting. I have been sitting for too long. Time for me to get up and get. And I agree with Buju. But Marley tells us, don't let them fool you. Every man has a right to decide his own destiny. Youngsters, remember this. You have to know two simple things in life. Friends and loved ones. Two simple things. Where you are presently, that's one. And number two, where you are going. Be conscious of those two things when you slip up. They would remind you to stay on track. You want something? Think like a farmer. Yes, I said think like a farmer. This is how to go and get what you want. Think like a farmer. A farmer thinks of the crop that gives him the best yield, that gives him the best profit, and he focuses on that. And there's nothing you could tell that farmer when it's time for him to plant. He goes and he gets the seeds. When he gets the seeds, he does what? He starts action. He prepares the land and he plants the seed. After he does that, he's not thinking about land and seed anymore. What's his focus? His focus is now on the nice, big, juicy crop and that yield and the profit. And if you tell that farmer, what are you glad so? What are you happy about? He say, wait and you would see. Wait and you would see. I have something coming. Youngsters, we have to think like that sometimes. I have something great coming. And the farmer, really and truly, when he keeps going and takes care of what is his, you've got to take care of what is yours. And the yield will come. God will bless you, and the yield will come. It will increase what you have as well. Smart farmers, I don't want to be too long. You're a talented generation of people, so use your talents. Don't hide them. Use your skills. I see a generation of sportsmen. Some of the best, I repeat, the best sportsmen are right here from this very same zone. Don't hide your skills. Don't hide your talents. Some of the best businessmen and women of St. Vincent and politicians came out of this very area. Don't hide your talents. Keep shining, people. Keep shining, young ones. But we do need more Vincentians to change their thinking processes. We do need more Vincentians that have that ability to create opportunities where we hardly see any opportunity. We need Vincentians who find something that people love and to be willing to serve and give back to their communities as well. We are depending on you, youngsters, to give us a brighter future for tomorrow. So you have to prepare when? You have to prepare now. When you seek guidance, test to see if it makes you better. And one of the easiest ways is to look around the folks. If you want to be successful, be around successful people. I don't have to tell you what to do if you want to be a loser, right? Just focus on what you want. Do not ever focus on what you don't want. Keep focusing on what you want. Prepare for it. It's crazy to know that just about 50 miles across the ocean, the world is so different. Skyscrapers, high life, sky trains, all you can eat food, cheap clothing, quiet time and peace. As soon as you land in the United States, just landing there alone makes you feel successful. And sometimes I wonder, what's this feeling? You land and you just feel like a king or a queen. I'm in America. You know? But I have a few friends from the United States and I noticed this about them. One, they are always prepared for anything. Two, you give them a time and they are always on time. And three, they would make sure to check out wherever they are going. They would make sure they have some knowledge of it. Preparation, preparation, preparation. That's what makes a good nation. I'm going to leave you with a few thoughts and a short story. I remember on our journey, on one of my journeys, we were 20 students, the first 20 going to Mexico to study on a scholarship. And we met really cool people, really nice people. On one occasion, myself and Sadiq is one of the top pharmacists right now in Kingston. You probably go to his pharmacy without knowing. But me and Sadiq, we got a ride from an old gentleman who started talking to us. Where are you guys from? Well, we're from St. Vincent. He said, I know St. Vincent. And he's one of the only guys we met that knew exactly where St. Vincent was. So as ambassadors, as representatives, we have a lot of work to do to make our country shine, to make it known. But he goes on telling us a story. An old gentleman driving an old Cadillac. He starts saying, you know, when I was young like you guys, I studied finance. Everything in finance, ask me and I know. He was even trembling sometimes while he's driving. So I had a smirk on my face. I'm watching Sadiq watch me. And we're like, I couldn't hold it back. I said, sir, now you spoke of finance in that way. If I only knew as much as you do about finance, I would have my own bank right now. The gentleman smiled and he looked at us and he said, actually, I have 3. What is this? At that moment, me and Sadiq, we thought we'd just getting an old ride from an old man in an old car, right? But this was the CEO of 3 corporate banks in Mexico. He made my day. I said I have to, when I go back home, I'll make sure I share that story with our young, black, upcoming rising stars. Speaking of rising stars, as I close, I just want to congratulate George Stevens Secondary, because you hear things outside, you know. I discovered that there are some rising stars that came right from this very school. Sometimes we don't get to acknowledge them, but I've heard of Jolana, who does catering services. I've heard of Brandon, who's an international basketball player in Taiwan. And I've also heard of an international cricketer, Janelia, who's one of the West Indies who's on the West Indies female cricket team, touring the world. Is she here? Excellence. Excellence is its name. George Stevens Secondary and staff administration of the past and present, I congratulate you. I can't stop saying, educators and teachers, thank you for your service. We don't have the same dreams, so don't expect everyone to agree with you all the time. Some may even laugh at times. From 5, you know my story. I told you some of it the other day. You know, the Bible teaches us all that we need to know all that we need to know in life. So choose carefully what you sow. It says whatever we sow, that is what we're going to reap. So make sure you sow good things. And be careful with the little gadgets we carry around in your hands. Those little gadgets, they are watching you and listening to you every single day. Don't let YouTube or TikTok make you change your moral compass. Don't make them change you. Tomorrow we'll get exactly what we prepared for today. We're not just young, black, and intelligent. We are a phenomenal, a magnanimous generation of millennials. So shine your light, chase your dreams, inspire others, and be inspired. At the end of it all, tomorrow belongs to those who prepared for it today. God bless you and thank you.
You want to stand? Let's give Mr. Walters another round of applause. It was such a timely message. Thank you, Mr. Walters. At this time, we're going to have the presentation of the graduates, and I'm going to call on the form teacher, Mr. Douglas, to do that for us.
At this time, I would like to ask the brothers to please stand. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning again. At this time, it's my pleasure to present to you the graduating class of 2022.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I just want to say congratulations again to all of the graduating students. You did well. And yeah, first name that I'm going to call Clifford Allen. Tiffany Autumn. Next, we have Jorian Baines. Next, we have Maxwell Butler. Next, we have Erica Clark. Next, we have Les Burns Clark. Next, we have Amora Colza. Next, Joran De Freitas. have Venice Dublin. Next, we have Stephanie Gerald. Next, we have Deanje Haywood. Next, we have Jodiana Haywood. Next, we have O'Keefe Haywood. Next, we have Alexia Hooper. All right, next we have Sonika Jacobs. Next we have Cherise Johnson. Next, we have Shema May. Next, we have Josh McKenzie. Next, we have Justin McMillan. Next, we have Chesroy Neal. Next, we have Mark Richards. Next on the list, we have Kadeem Smart. Next on the list, we have Ezra Thomas. Next on the list, we have Enrique Williams. Next on the list, we have Joe Williams. And next on the list, we have Nashika Williams. Definitely have to leave it best for last.
Thank you, Mr. Douglas and Mr. Providence. So students, you are now officially graduated out of the walls of George Stevens Senior Secondary School. And to sanction this, we would like to have a prayer on your life to bless you as you leave the walls, and we're going to call on Elder Balcom. Is he here? Yes, and Elder Balcom is going to pray on behalf of our graduating class of 2022. Hello, Elder Balcom. Not too bad.
Reverends, on graduation. Let us pray. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And you can rely on these last days. Father, this morning, as the shepherd looks after the sheep, so dear Father, you promise to look after the children. By no distinction, the graduates here this morning. Father, you know them from the crown of their head to the sole of their feet, dear Father. You love them, you care about them, because you are a loving God. Not like some people say that you are a wicked God. We know that you are kind, you are merciful, you are long-suffering, dear Father, and that you do not wish anyone should perish, but all should come to eternal life, dear Father. You have brought us, brother, to this point, dear Father, where they have graduated, dear Father. You were with them, you are with them, and I know by your grace, you will go before them and prepare the way for them, dear Father. Remind them that you said in your word, if my people who walk out by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek your face, you will hear from heaven and you will be with them. Father, I pray that you will be with these young people, dear Father. They are young, but Father, in your words, you remind them to remember their Creator in the days of their youth, when good days come back. Father, I pray that you will strengthen them. It's not easy out there. It's rough. It's tough. The devil doesn't like anything good. Not at all. He loves you. The devil hates you when you love God. So, brethren, as the Bible says, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy mind, with all thy soul, and him only shalt thou serve. Also said that you must love your neighbor as yourself. One bright person asks, who is my neighbor? Your neighbor is the one who you encounter almost every day. Father, I pray that the graduates, as they go out in the morning, they will remember you. And as they come in the evening, they will remember you, dear Father. Take care of them, dear Father. I pray in the name of Jesus, I present them to you this morning. Take them as they are. I pray that you will wash them and you will cleanse them with that blood that flows from Calvary. And when they leave this place this morning, they will be better individuals, willing to work for you in this path of the way. So have mercy upon them, O Lord, and guide and protect them as they venture off higher ground. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen. All right, take your seats, class, students. And now for the most exciting part. I think this is what you all came for, really and truly. It's the presentation of the subject awards. And to do that, I'm going to call on Ms. Hatcher to assist me with this part of the program, and I'm also going to call on Mr. Wendell Walters to assist us with distribution of the trophies.
Yes, and I was thinking we could do the people probably do too. And it was and you could probably even two or three.
Award for Agriculture Science, Joe Williams. Award for Biology, Chesroy Neal. At this time, I would invite Mr. Crazy Allen just to present a few awards. Mr. Wendell will give me a little break. Mr. Crazy Allen to present a few awards. Award for Caribbean History, Kwesi. Forgive my accent, please. Kwesi. Award for Caribbean History, Erica Clark. Award for EDPM, Chesroy Neal. Awards for English A, Erica Clark. And Sharice Johnson. Thank you very much, Mr. Allen. Award for English B, Joanne De Freitas. Award for Family and Resource Management, Erica Clark. Award for Food, Nutrition and Health, Nashika Williams. Award for Geography, Sharice Johnson. Award for Integrated Science, also Sharice Johnson. Award for Mathematics. I'm going to ask Dr. Bristol to present this award, please. Award for Mathematics, Alexia Cooper. Thank you, Dr. Bristol. Dr. Bristol, one of our past principals. Award for Office Administration, Erica Clark. Award for Physical Education, Joe Williams. Award for Principles of Accounts. Award for Principal of Business, and award for Social Studies, Cherise Johnson. Go too far, please. Thank you, Mr. Walter. We're going to invite our Principal Active, Mr. Providence, at this time to present the Valedictorian Trophy to Cherise Johnson. At this time, we are going to present the awards for those students who would have been successful in the 2021 CSEC examinations. These are the names of students who would have received 5 or more subjects. Miss Tiani Ega. Tiani, before you come, we're asking Miss Rosamond Griffith to assist us in the distribution of these awards. Yes, Tiani Ega. Let's welcome her. Next, we have Leroy Dalzell. I see also is smiling. Students, this will be some of you next year in the graduating class. Hopefully. Then we have Devon Fisher. Leroy, can you collect this on behalf of Devon for me, please? Thank you. Devon Fisher. Jenna Frederick. Jenna Frederick. Zedika George. Zedika George. Ian J. Glasgow. Ian J. Glasgow. Glaswan Henson. Glaswan, yes. Put your hands together, people. Kira Horn. Kira Horn. Ronald Paris. Ronald Paris. Lex Roy Rodney. Alright, so let's move on to the school awards. We will invite Dr. Bristol to assist us with the distribution of the school awards. To the most persevering student, we have Miss Arika Clark. And she will also be collecting the trophy for the Deportment Award. No trouble, Arika never gives any trouble, she's so quiet. For punctuality, Mr. O'Keefe Harewood.
Mr. Justin, affectionately known as Buta. Alright, at this time we're going to have recognition of contribution to the school, and we're going to call on some teachers to assist us with this. First, I want to call on Miss Joseph as she does a citation for us.
Yes.
Good morning, everybody. This morning, the first person who we are recognizing as a contributor to our school is Mrs. Rutlin Alves. Mrs. Rutlin Alves has been with us at the George Stevens Senior Secondary School as a teacher and as a tuck shop operator. Mrs. Alves is known for her tasty snacks and lunches by both children and teachers. She creates affordable meals that are second to none. Today, we want to celebrate Mrs. Alves and show patronage to her as she continues to provide these delicious meals for the staff and students of the George Stevens Senior Secondary School. This morning, Mrs. Alves, we thank you so much, and we hope that you appreciate our award for your outstanding service at our institution.
All right, next we're going to call on Miss Olvita Bob as she does the second citation for us.
Good morning, everyone. The second person we are going to recognize this morning is Mr. Kaiva Dabrio. So Mr. Kaiva Dabrio began working at the George Stevens Senior Secondary School in June of 2017. From his tenure at the school, Kaiva has always been polite, well-mannered, quiet, and a quiet person, but most importantly, he is by far the most willing person we have on staff. He is always able and ready to assist any task that has to be done in and around the school. Today we want to show our appreciation to Kaiva for his hard work and dedication at our school over the years. Thank you, Mr. Dabrio, and keep up the good work.
Good morning, everyone. This is the citation for Sudan Francis. Sudan Francis, affectionately known as Slim, is the owner of the reputable Slim's Furniture Shop in Byron. He has been a stalwart to the George Stevens Senior Secondary School. He is a person you can call on almost immediately for assistance. He has provided furniture for the school as well as sawdust for the litter for the poultry project. And his contribution has gone a long way towards the development of our school. Thank you, Mr. Francis, for your resourcefulness and your support throughout the years. Unfortunately, he is not here at the moment to receive his award, his basket. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sampson. At this time, we are going to call on Cherise Johnson, our valedictorian, as she gives us her valedictorian.
apologies. Old age, I'm getting old. Alright, this morning we have two persons here with us who we must give special recognition to. The first person who took the time to be here with us this morning is no other than Miss Rosamond Griffin. And so to show our appreciation to her, we are going to present her with a fruit basket. Mr. Providence, can you assist us with the distribution to Miss Griffin from the Ministry of Education. Thank you so much, Miss Griffin. Let's take a round of applause. And last but not least, we would like to present to Mr. Wendell Walters. Also, thank you, Mr. Walters, for your time, for your words of encouragement, for your newfound dedication to the George Stevens Senior Secondary School. We will be calling on him quite often to assist us with functions like this. Thank you, and thank you, Mrs. Walters, for loaning us your husband on this auspicious occasion. Alright, next voice you will hear is that of Miss Sherry Johnson. Let's give her a round of applause again.
Yes, it's on.
Master of Ceremonies, Ms. Bacchus, representative of the Ministry of Education, Ms. Rosamond Griffin, other officers of the Ministry of Education, Deputy Principal of the George Stevens Senior Secondary School, Mr. Calvin Providence, Pastor of Ebenezer Estate Church, Pastor Ambrose, Elder of the Ebenezer Estate Church, Elder Malcolm, other members of the clergy, specially invited guests, members of staff, parents and guardians, graduates and prize winners, members of the media side, good morning. I stand before you today to present the valedictorian speech for the graduating class of 2022 of the George Stevens Senior Secondary School. An honor and a privilege I never thought would have been mine. I guess the saying, hard work always pays off, proved to be true. I just want to thank the teachers and the principal for giving me this opportunity for being on stage today. And on behalf of the graduating class, an even hearty thank you to our teachers, parents, and many others for encouraging us and standing behind all of us who are graduating today. We entered the gates as Form 1 students in 2016 and 17. Some of us were shy and nervous, while others were older and seemed as if they were always part of the school. We met teachers who sought not just to educate us, but to nurture us, encourage us, and to give us a listening ear when needed. Throughout our tenure, our teachers continued to encourage us and worked hard to ensure that we equipped with the tools necessary to do our best at school. This is particularly evident in the last few days. During this time, we experienced trials that came with the COVID-19 pandemic, and we were thrust into a new mode of learning, for we now had to do it online. Many teachers use various online tools, and some even formed WhatsApp groups to ensure that we stayed connected and received instructions as best as we could. This was not easy, as we had to learn not just what was being taught, but also to navigate the various learning systems that were used for us to engage in learning. Some of us had to put in a greater effort to manage our time and to be independent learners. We were met with our challenges such as internet connectivity and getting devices to work on. We are truly thankful to the government for giving each of us a device that we could use to continue learning. The challenges we faced as a result of the pandemic were compounded with the eruption of the massive volcano. It was a frightening time for many of us. We definitely did not know what to expect. Several of us had to evacuate our homes, and schooling was not at the top of the list of our list of things to do. But we had to press on. With a volcano that was becoming less active and devices received schooling online could continue. Our teachers continued to work with us to teach new concepts and reinforce old ones. and to ensure that we work on our SVAs. As time continued, we were able to return to face-to-face learning, and this was welcomed by many of us, even though we had to return to wearing our school uniforms and waking up early to ensure we went to school on time. We were able to be with our friends and interact with other teachers face-to-face once again. Even though these are memories that I'm sure will remain with us for life, there are many other memorable occasions that we had at our time here at school. For instance, the best class competition. This was held every year and winner announced close to the celebration of our country's independence. This competition gave each class opportunity to work together with our teachers to showcase our creative and artistic abilities as well as our knowledge about SVG. Our sports they were also very memorable. We enjoyed watching our friends and classmates compete in different events. Also, loved by many was the career day, which gave us an opportunity to learn with and from each other about different careers and to see our peers dressed the part. I also remember in our forms when we had no class, we used to be on the corridor and when we saw Miss Samson, we used to run. Indeed, our journey at GSSSS had some challenges, but we failed with hard work, fun, and making friends. We had some wonderful teachers who guided us and were always there to teach us good morals and values. They have shown their dedication and interest no matter how big or small our achievements were. We were exposed to various activities and were taught life lessons. Some of the teachers who inspired me to do my best were Ms. Forbes, Ms. Thomas, and Mr. Douglas. Thank you. To your parents and other family members, continue to support your children. I can testify of the importance of a family support because the person who encouraged me the most throughout my life. Because the person who encouraged me the most throughout my secondary school days were my family members, especially my late grandfather. Now to my fellow graduates, you should feel the joy of accomplishing something amazing and be proud of yourself. Learn to embrace the difficulties that may come your way. Do not let them define you, but use them to raise to greater things. As we are about to embark on our future endeavors, my advice for you, the graduating class of 2022, is that all your hard work now will definitely bring success to you in the future, because education is the passport to every accomplishment, and always remember that tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cherise. We will miss you too so much. Alright, we're getting to the close of it. And I must say I am overjoyed because I think this is the first graduation that I have attended that we finished before 12 o'clock. So I'm happy. Alright, at this time we're going to invite the graduating class to come up and they're going to sing for us their graduation song. Last time you guys are going to be like this, so enjoy it. Fight your hearts, laugh your hearts, wake up with your before we exit the church, we have to give special recognition and thanks to a few persons who made today possible, who made this graduation day a success. And to do so, we are going to call on Miss Joanne Boy to give us our vote of thanks.
Good morning to all. I deem it a great honor and privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on this memorable occasion. Let me first of all start by giving glory to the Almighty God for making today's occasion a resounding success. On behalf of the George Stevens Senior Secondary School, we would like to thank our special guest speaker, Mr. Wendell Walters, who despite his busy schedule has found time to grace this occasion and give a motivational word to our graduates. We thank the ministry official, Ms. Rosamond Griffith, and the distinguished invitees present here for accepting our invitation. Also, we are grateful for the contributions from Prime Minister, Honorable Dr. Ralph E. Gonsalves, Dr. George Bristol, Mr. Eustace De Freitas, Mr. Maxwell Butler, Mr. Sudan Francis, Mr. Andrew Mars, Mr. Brina Reyes, Ms. Fanny Jackson, of the Georgetown Secondary School, Mr. Jeffrey Balcom of the media for covering the event, Ms. Naomi Prince for the fruit baskets, Ms. Donald Pope for the refreshments, BNTF, Abraham's Ice Cream Parlor, Vinci Print Plus, Courage Bakery, East Coast Pharmacy, Century Insurance, Triple Iron Minimart, Budgemart Limited. We appreciate the pastor, elders, and members of the Ebenezer SDA Church for allowing us to utilize the church, and Mr. Clayton Jack for your assistance and hospitality. Our graduates, Sheriff Johnson for a well-written and spoken valedictorian speech, Alexia Hooper for reading the scripture. Special thanks to the Deputy Principal, Mr. Calvin Providence, for his unstinted support for this special occasion. The staff for their contributions, and the graduation committee who put considerable time, hard work, and effort into this program to make it successful. Last but not least, thank you to the parents, guardians, and family members, and all who are present who came out to support the graduates. Once again, in heartfelt thanks, this year's graduation and prize-giving ceremony could not have been possible without you. And congratulations to the graduating class of 2022.
And thank you, Ms. Bowie, for thanking everybody. Alright, at this time we have reached the end of our graduation ceremony and prize-giving exercise. And by way of announcement, students, we have a light refreshment for you and for the teachers and for those two persons who you gave your invitations to. Okay? So let's say a word of prayer before we leave. Let's stand as we say a word of prayer. Let's bow our heads and close our eyes. Dear kind and Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for a successful graduation ceremony. Lord, we want to pray that you will bless these students as they enter the world of work and as they go along their new journey. Continue to be with the teachers and the parents and all the other well-wishers who are here. Take us home safely, dear Lord, and may we have a good day. In Jesus' name, amen.